I have a iPhone that I'm going to project to my computer, and give me one moment here for this to come up. Here we go. And we'll make this a little bit bigger. So here's my iPhone. And what I'm going to do is, let's pretend for a moment you just hired me at your company and you say, hey, Matt, you could use your own device. Great. Well, I can go in here to an app like Teams, and you'll notice immediately it's going to challenge me here for a passcode. Now, my iPhone here is a little old, so bear with me, it's a little slow. And so immediately to open up Teams, because it's a managed app, I have to type in a passcode. All right, so I'm going to type in a passcode here. This is my test device, so yes, it is all zeros. But first, I had to type in a passcode. Now, if I had biometrics on this, like Touch ID or Face ID, I can use that, obviously, to get in. So that's barrier number one. Barrier number two is, let's pull up a team here. And I see this Word document in here. Well, I'm going to launch the Word document. Maybe I want to look at it on my phone here. But maybe I want to be nefarious. Maybe I want to download that to my device so I can leak it. Or maybe I just want to download it so I can, access it later. Well, if I tap on the share icon to do that, look what happens. There's that firewall I talked about, that sandbox. I don't have the ability to download that file. I don't have the ability to do anything with that Word document other than view it. Now, I could set this up so you can export it over to the Word app, and then you can, edit it, and that's all secured as well. So, there's different controls you can wrap around it. But, that's really interesting. So it stays within my managed app because it's my data, my corporate data. Now, let's go a step further here. Here's some text in one of these Teams messages. I'm going to copy this text, and I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to paste this into a non-managed application. So the Messages app, right? You'd probably agree that's not managed by the IT department. So in the body of the text here, I'm just going to try to paste that data. And look what happens. There's that firewall, that sandbox. Your organization's data cannot be pasted here. So it allows me to keep my corporate data in my corporate app managed by my IT department, but yet still keep all the personal data separate. And I think that's really powerful. And again, this is all based on your identity. And so it uses your Azure Active Directory credentials to make that distinction. And this is true on any device. Here I'm on an iPhone. If I go to an Android device, it would be the same behavior. If I go to a Windows PC, it'd be the same behavior, a Mac, so on and so forth. Now let's take this a different way here. Maybe you hire me at your company and say, well, look, Matt, our business policy and our HR policy says if you want to get your email on your phone, you have to play by the rule. And the rule is you have to enroll your device into MDM. We have to be able to manage the device. Well, that's okay. So as an end user, I download this app called Company Portal, and I launch Company Portal, and this allows me to enroll it into MDM so you can manage the whole device. So let's go through that process and what that looks like. Okay, so let me sign in. You can see I've done this before, so let me get signed back in. And this is just my demo account, so you'll probably see my credentials, but that is okay. And we will get signed in here. Now remember, it uses my identity, so once I get signed in, it's going to see that this device is not managed. And here it's asking me for multi-factor authentication, so let's go ahead and do that on my other device. Now, once I get signed in, it's going to see that it's not enrolled in MDM. And from here, it's going to ask me to enroll it. And there you go. So the name of my company is Contoso in this big long name. And so here it's going to say, well, let's enroll your device. So I'm going to tap on Begin. Now, this is really important. And I want to kind of squash a rumor out there. There's no way for Intune to see personal data, right? So as the admin, I can't go into the admin console in Intune and see your text messages or your photos or any kind of personal data. It doesn't exist. There's physically no way for me to do that. Now, that doesn't mean I can't write an app that does that and push it out to your device. But Intune, the product, cannot see this personal data. So we tell the end user up front. And I think that's pretty important to establish that trust, right? Now, we can see things like the OS and the serial number and the names of the apps that are actually installed on the device. So I'm going to tap on Continue, and it's going to walk me through in kind of a wizard here. So I'm going to tap on Continue. It's going to open up the Safari browser, and then it's going to redirect me over to Settings. Again, this is kind of an older iPhone, so bear with me. Still kind of waking up here on a Thursday morning. So there it is, opening up Safari, and then it's going to challenge me to open up the settings app. So we'll give it a moment to, there it goes. And now we're going to tap on allow. It's going to launch settings. And then from here, I just tap on install. And this is pretty standard for iOS. This is how Apple allows device management solutions to manage a device. And so I'm just tapping on install. Now this does say that your administrator may collect personal data. Again, Intune can't see that. This is just part of the API that the Apple offers to us. And so I'm going to tap on install, and then it's done. So now at this point, it's going to redirect me back to the company portal app. And now it's going to go through and check the compliance of my device. So this is interesting. So what if I jailbroke my device or I rooted it, right? Well, if I did that, Intune will see it and not allow me to enroll it. So it notices that my device is healthy. That's okay. So now I'm going to choose a category so my company can identify whether or not this is company or personal. So I'm going to choose personal for now. Now, my policy also says we're going to push down some apps. So here they're trying to push down an app called the Intune Managed Browser. So I just tap on install, and it's going to push it down. Tap on continue here. And then at this point, I'm done. I'm all set. The device is now managed, and I'm all good to go. Now, the company portal app allows me as an end user to download apps my company may publish out to me. It is 2019. I mean, I do know how to download an app from the actual app store, but to make it easier, my company could publish that here. If I tap on devices, I could see all the devices managed by my company. So this is my demo environment, so you have some devices in here. But notice if I had a Mac, if I have a Windows machine, an Android phone, it all shows up in here. And at any time, I can come in here and look at my device, and I could tap the ellipsis here and choose to remove device. So if I leave the company and I tap remove, it's going to remove all the all the corporate data off my device and leave the personal data alone. So at this point, I'm enrolled. MDM is managing my device. And so at this point, I could push down a policy with maybe these apps, or maybe a VPN profile, or maybe I want to lock down and turn off the camera or prevent screenshots or whatever, hundreds of different settings. And I can actually do that. So that's the experience between MDM, mobile device management, and MAM, mobile application management.